Oh, hey, hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting, fun-filled podcast interview today with me. My name is Carlos. They call me Trey. That's my nickname. I'm a photographer here in Austin, Texas, and I have a photography studio here, and I shoot or photograph exclusively male models and male OnlyFans creators and male content creators. So I thought it'd be a cool idea if I started interviewing them after the shoot. And our guest today that we have is
Jadsen.
All right. Okay. Yay. Take off your shirt.
Should I really? No, okay.
It's okay. Relax. All right. So I did get some fan feedback saying that they don't like the clappings. Well, fuck you. All right. I like the claps. So I think it's fun. Yes. Listen, they enjoy it. Look at you see, they're like, it gets them in, it gets them in, make it loud. And we don't have a studio audience, so that's fake. So anybody that's asking about that. So anyway, yes. So today we photographed and we did a video and we got some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
I think it came out great.
I think so too. So everybody knows Jadsen does have a Instagram and a Twitter, right?
Yep.
And I'll put those addresses up here somewhere, like right here.
Nice.
I'll put a picture of you and then I'll put them in there.
Cool.
They'll see it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And please go follow him. He has some really great stuff. He's already worked with some very cool photographers, and so he has some really great photos to show off. He also has an OnlyFans. Do you have a link tree to your OnlyFans?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if you follow one of those Instagrams or X, Twitter accounts, you will get a link to his OnlyFans where you can check it out. Okay, so we're gonna get down to business. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So this isn't your first time to Austin, right?
No. I was born in Houston, and I still have my mom's side of the family that lives over in like Houston, Katy area. I moved to Florida when I was like maybe 3 or 4. So like, growing up, I'd go back to see my mom's side of the family, every year, every 2 years, something like that. And, I pretty much, even though I lived in Florida my whole life, I still kind of grew up in Texas, like going back and forth. So I've been to Austin, I've been to Houston, San Antonio, Galveston.
Yeah. So you're pretty much Texan. Pretty much. Yeah.
Definitely,
you know what everything's like. So let's start like with your experience here. So when you got here, was it what you expected?
Are you talking about like Austin? Or
no, just here. Me. I'm talking about me.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, when I came in here, I mean like such a cool environment, just because like, sometimes I'm put up in a hotel, and like
it's real lonely.
Yeah. So I'm coming in. There's there's multiple people here.
You can tell their names. They never know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You got your husband. You got a model, your nephew, and it's like, I come in here and it's like it's a home feel, but there's still like the studio. There's still all this stuff going on. So like that was a cool experience, like walking in. And then of course, like, your personality, gotta love that.
I know everybody loves me.
Somebody that can tell jokes and still take good pictures. Like that's always fun to work with.
Yes, it is. It's also fun to work with somebody that is very chill, but like funny. Like you're funny, but you're like chill.
Yeah.
You're like a chill funny.
Chill funny.
Yeah, chill funny.
Cool.
So what was your favorite, like, I guess favorite part of the shoot, like the favorite picture, like the favorite outfit or something that we did in the shoot? What was your favorite picture that you saw today that we took?
Okay, so favorite, all of them came out really well. And it would be
I know. Yeah. Thanks, crowd. I know.
Yeah, I know, like for each set series that we did, like I definitely probably had a favorite within them. But I think like the funnest one that was kind of like maybe my favorite was the paddle.
that
That was just like, because it was just pretty cool. Yeah. I didn't want to let go of it.
you did. You wanted that
Yeah.
paddle. I was like, okay, relax.
Yeah.
That's Colts. Don't take it
Yeah.
away.
Right.
Yeah, that was a cool. That was a cool. I'm glad we got to do that because I bought that paddle just for that. Now, speaking of paddles, have you ever used a paddle in real life?
No, I haven't used a paddle. No. I'm trying to think if I've used anything similar to that.
Now, would you be the paddler or would you be the paddlee?
I think I would be the paddler.
Paddler, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like kind of getting little spank? I mean, I'm not talking about like S&M. I'm talking about a little.
Yeah, I mean, like, if there's somebody they wanna smack my ass, I think that's fun. But I think like in terms of like, being in the bedroom and stuff like that, I like to be the dom.
Okay.
Like I like to be in control, like
In charge.
In charge, yeah, for sure. I mean, like even most of my positions are kind of like catered towards me being the dom, So if like I'm just laying on my back and they're doing all the work on top, like yeah, that feels good, obviously. Like why wouldn't it? But
Yeah,
like
but you want to be the one on top, and
I
you
want
want
to
to be.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So have you ever met your match where you're like kind of fighting? You're like, okay, get down.
Yeah.
You're like, get down.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I mean, like once or twice. I mean, it's always fun, to mix things up.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so the pledge shoot was your favorite shoot, and you guys go follow him on Instagram and Twitter. I'm sure he'll be posting some of those.
Yeah.
Now, the dirty ones that we took, and I say dirty, but the nude ones that we took, those are only going to be available on OnlyFans. So you have to follow one of us to see those. But the other ones, I'm sure he'll be posting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we did that one, and that was pretty cool. Who, in your experience, like how different? Because he's worked with some really great photographers. Compared to Michael Downs.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm better, but like you can, but you don't have to say it right now.
Yeah. I mean, so
but
like,
we're totally different.
Different.
So
yeah.
what?
Every photographer
is
yeah.
different. So what is the biggest difference between me and him? Because I always like asking the guys this because I love his work too. Believe me, I'm so jealous of his work; it drives me nuts. But what is the biggest difference between me and him? Besides that, you love me more.
I would say maybe I would say probably the outfits.
Right.
Like Michael will, he'll switch up the underwears and the swimwears and stuff like that. But there was definitely a little bit more of like, different things going on with the series, like different series, different outfits for different things.
Right. Yeah, I'm a little bit more. I like to have a little bit more of a theme.
Yeah, theme. Yeah.
Yeah, for each picture. Mm-hmm. But it's so funny because I'm sure models are the same way, or creators also. I feel like when I look at Michael Downs stuff, I'm like, oh, I'm such shit. I hate my work. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And I feel like models and creators do that too. Like you'll look at another model and you're like, oh, I'm such. Not that you're shit, but like you're oh, like look at his abs.
Right.
Look at his.
I guess, yeah, I would say that, yeah. I mean, I've been there before, and I mean, like, I've worked with plenty of other models, and I'm like, not even necessarily the physical aspect of it, like their physique and whatnot, but just like how they're able to, just work in front of the camera, like they really know what they're doing,
Right. And you're just like, fuck,
yeah,
how do they know how to do that?
I know, yeah. I'm still learning, but yeah, some of these guys, yeah, they were built for it.
So tell me about, I know that you've done some like duo shoots with guys in Florida. Mm-hmm. How did that go? How was that working with somebody else? Did you like that, or are you more kind of like you like doing it kind of solo?
So as far as collabs, like I had one that I did, and that was like a big deal. It was not really super public. Like I didn't put it on just putting it on there because I didn't want it like just kind of on there forever, you know. But like going back on and thinking about it now, like with something else, and I'll get to that, like because I did a different another collab after that, and when I did that collab, I was just thinking like, okay, fuck it, like I don't give a fuck, I should have just put the first one on there too. I mean, the first one was like, I did mark up the price a little bit. You know, it was like something that I never did before. And I don't think I'm ever going to do anything to that degree, maybe in the future again. But you know, I did a collab with another model. You know, we had you know, there's a whole scene built in within it, so it wasn't just like, you know, me jerking off or some other guy like jerking me off or anything like that. And it's just that, like, there was a whole production that went into it with a photographer,
Right.
A whole role play scene, you know, built up into it. Like, you know, we just got back from the club, we didn't get any girls, and we
Right.
go to bed and go to sleep.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much every straight guy. Okay, by the way.
Nice. Yeah.
So you're gay or straight?
So I am straight. Yeah, I'm straight. But
Wait,
like,
crowd, rate, don't leave, stay. It's okay.
Right.
You can stay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. Keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I'm straight, and I think, like, I don't know. I don't think it's like super black and white. I know in terms of, like, I don't know. There's like, I'm not going to end up with a man, you know, as
Right.
far as, like, you know, marrying and, you know.
But you can see the difference between you can see a guy and be like, wow, that guy's attractive.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can do that with women.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be with women,
Right.
but I can look at a woman and be like, dang, you know, she's pretty.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it with her, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, if I was drunk enough, maybe.
Maybe.
Right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that. I'm all like that, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, kind of like going back to that, like, you know, if there's like if there's a certain collab, like, you know, I wouldn't even say it's just like, okay, yeah, I'm just doing this, you know, for the OF, for the, you know, potential money or whatever. Like, if it's a hot scene and this guy's
You're
not
into
like
it.
bad, yeah, I'm into it, and you know, I would listen to a podcast, and I can't remember it might have been like why straight men are having gay sex. It was about like 45 minutes. It was really interesting. I mean, it covered a lot of different things, like, you know, guys watching trans porn, like,
Right.
you know, just a bunch of different topics. And it was quite interesting because, like, listening to that, I realized it's like, it's not super black and white.
And it isn't. And I feel like that goes back to like religion, right?
Yeah. Yeah, always, yeah.
And it's like they guilt you into feeling a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of like living a true life and being like, you know what, maybe I want to jerk off next to my friend. Why is that why is that bad? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, maybe, you know, I want to eat my friend's ass. Okay, well, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
You
no
know what I
shame in
mean?
that, yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, what ends up happening with these guys is they suppress all these feelings, and then they get married and have kids, and then they're cheating on their wife with
Right.
guys, or, you know, they're having sex with transsexual women, you know, to get get their, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And I just feel like if people were more honest with themselves, it wouldn't be a problem. You know, I think it's like a sliding scale, right?
Yeah,
You're either a
definitely.
10 or a 1, or you know what I mean? And then you can do it.
Right.
So this collab that you did, you put it on your OnlyFans, obviously, for a little bit. Like, you sold it on your OnlyFans for a little
So
bit.
actually, no.
Or it was for Downs.
Yeah. So for this video, it was sold through AAG. I did that for a couple reasons. You know, the big one thing in particular was the security thing. So, like, if people were buying it through AAG, like, you
Yeah,
know,
it was secure.
I would have their information. You know, everything was watermarked. Like, it was a little bit more secure, and like, so I did it through there, and I'm still selling it for a little bit. And then, but recently, and that one was kind of just like a little test, and you know, I think it was really good. I learned a lot from it. It was a good experience. You know, the model I worked with was super great. Like,
Right.
and then recently I just worked with photographer Brian
Kaminsky.
Yeah.
Very good. I hate him also because I love his work.
Yeah.
He's so fucking incredible.
Mm-hmm. So so with that, you know, it's a edging session. So
Right.
we did 3 sessions. We also did some other work, you know, pictures and videos and stuff like that.
Right.
And you know, that was another great experience too, you know. So I haven't had a bad experience yet, you know.
Well,
thankfully.
you won't. I don't think you will, though, because I think you've started off with some really good, honest, some good working people that aren't sleazy.
Yeah.
You know, because it can go the other way also.
I've heard that. Yeah.
So when you start, so let's now go back a little bit. So how long ago did you start your OnlyFans?
I want to say like maybe 5 months ago, give or take.
So it's kind of new.
Yeah.
So before that, you had done that scene with Michael before, with AAG before that, or was it
talking
after
about that collab?
Yeah.
Oh no, that was like pretty recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you did all this afterwards. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you started your OnlyFans, let's kind of get into that. So
Okay.
what was kind of like your jumping off point when you're like, you know what, I'm going to do this?
Yeah. So I think I'd already started modeling, and then I'd been working for All American Guys. I was modeling through them. I was doing kind of stuff for their website. I was starting to work for other photographers, and like my feet were already kind of in the water at that point.
Right.
And then I was also doing some private, custom kind of stuff,
Yeah.
not for OnlyFans, but
Just regular, like for people that messaged you online or Snapchat or whatever.
And like through AAG though.
Yeah.
So I kind of got a feel for it, doing that. And obviously like the nudity thing wasn't a big deal for me. Like, I think because of how I approached it, it wasn't just like, okay, I started modeling and then I was just doing like nudity like day one, I kind of like eased myself into it. And, I was roofing at the time, and, I was doing that for a while. I was doing the modeling stuff, and then I had a little part-time job. And then at that point I was just like, fuck it. Like I really just like, I didn't care. I mean, the biggest thing for me looking back on it too is like, just the whole modeling, like taking pictures thing. If we're asking the question of like, okay, what made you like jump off the ledge of like doing the OF thing, that wasn't like the thing. The thing itself was actually just like getting in front of a camera,
Right?
Like, clothes on, whatever, swimwear. I mean, that was such like a big thing to me that I like was really surprised that I was able to kind of just be comfortable with all that. My whole life, I didn't like taking pictures. My mom would try to round up all the kids, and like I wouldn't smile. Like I'd always blink in every picture. And even now, like she doesn't know the full extent of what I do, but she's like, "You're a model? Like this doesn't fucking make any sense."
You hated the camera.
I hated the camera. And I think a lot of circumstances and like how I felt about myself kind of changed to where like, I'd gotten sober. I was sober for, I think, maybe over a year before I even started modeling. I was working a program.
Is that kind of how you got in shape? Like, have you always been this muscular?
Right. No, I haven't. So I would describe my body type as like super skinny and scrawny, but then like also fat in the wrong places.
Right. Normal.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just saying.
For sure. So, and then when I tried getting sober for the first time, and that was like maybe, I don't know, like 5 years ago, give or take. That's when I would try to like go to the gym because, I'd get sober, I'd have nothing to do. So I was like, okay, well, let me at least try to look better. And like have something to like
look forward to do. That way you're not just thinking.
Right. Yeah. Because thinking is super dangerous for a guy like me. And so I would, I'd get sober and then I'd start going to the gym. I'd get some gains. But then I'd fuck it up,
Right.
And then it would be like kind of that same pattern until, where I'm at right now, where, I've been sober for like 2 years and 5 months. And that's how long I've also been consistently like working out.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
So you just really kind of just started OnlyFans just because you're like, well, I'm already doing it. I might as well just get on there.
Yeah.
So when doing that, you obviously know that your main audience is going to be guys.
Yeah.
Right. So how does that? Because obviously we talked about your sexuality, which is you're straight, but kind of what you're getting into.
Yeah.
So how does that make you feel? Like, or have you been like embraced by the community?
Yeah. So that's,
and also, go ahead.
Sorry.
No.
Okay,
Because I remember you. I remember you were going to tell the story. So go ahead. Sorry, I want to interrupt.
I don't know if it's that story, but if it's not, then you can maybe remind me what it is. But like, so it's kind of going back to what we were talking about before, like what made me kind of even start the OF thing, because this is like actually like super important. Um, Before all that, I was, like I said, I was doing the AAG stuff, and like I would also do the AAG cams and like AAG, OF lives and stuff like that.
Right.
And so like, I would be on these lives, and then that was like my first time like actually interacting with fans.
Right.
And my experience was always amazing. These guys like were super nice to me. They weren't just like giving me compliments, but they were being fucking hilarious when they were saying them,
Right.
Like it was just this total personality that I was just like, this is so fucking cool.
Right.
And that played a huge role in like making me like, okay, like I can do this. Like if these are the kind of fans that I'm gonna have when I start my OF, then like this will be super cool,
Did you ever get people that were just wanted to talk? Like that were just, hey, hey Jadsen, how are you today? I had a rough day today.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And you would talk back to them.
Yeah, just regular conversations, not even like anything like
nothing dirty, just like, oh cool man, like what happened?
Just checking in with you, just like seeing how the day's going. Yeah, I got a few of those guys for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like you personally do actually care about them. Like I really feel like you do. I feel like a lot of people give you guys a lot of flack because they're like, oh, you're straight, you're using the gay community, or all these like guys that are so pissed off about it. But to me, like every time I hear a straight guy that is doing this, like they tell me like, yeah, I have a bunch of guys that'll message me just to message me, like they need somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Or they're lonely, or they're this, and they go, I don't talk anything sexual. I just ask them about their day. I ask them, I don't ask for tips. I don't ask for anything. So I just feel like that's really cool. And I feel like that does a service to some people that, may not go out, or may be stuck at home, or may, not be older and not have anybody in their life, So I think that's a really cool thing.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. So your only experience hasn't just been online with gay guys, right? Like you actually do or have done other things where you're actually face to face.
Yeah.
So what are those things?
I mean, for instance, the collab I did, he was a gay, model. And I think honestly, like that was the thing that made it the most comfortable, was the fact that like, for me, this was my first time having an experience like that. And I didn't really know like, okay, how is this going to go?
Right.
There's also like, it's not just me and this other person, but there's also a photographer there filming it,
Right.
so that kind of adds a little bit of pressure to it. But like, I think if it had been me and like another straight man,
oh, that would have been real awkward.
It would have been awkward, because it's like, okay, I'm getting my dick sucked and he's straight and
he probably doesn't want to do it.
Probably doesn't, yeah, right. So that, I mean,
at least it's somebody that wants to do it.
He wanted to do it, yeah.
Right,
so
right.
super comfortable, good experience, same thing with getting edged, really, really comfortable experience. Never felt, I always knew what I was getting into. Although I will say with the edging experience, I didn't know completely, and not in a bad way. Just like I always thought edging meant like, somebody's jerking you off.
Yeah.
But I didn't know the extent.
Oh yeah, it's like edging. It's like they stop.
Yeah, they stop, and
You're
then
like,
you
"Whoa."
go, and then you stop, and then you go, and then you stop.
You're like, bro, it's been an hour. Let's get.
No, it was.
Oh
it was.
my
I
God.
think we went for like 2 hours.
That's too much.
Yeah. Well, we took breaks, and like the first session, that was like close to an hour. That was like a private thing. That was for something else, and then like the rest of that time was the stuff that was going to be for him and I to eventually
use.
put on our
Yeah.
OFs, right?
Right.
So yeah, I was pretty impressed like with
Wow,
how I
you're
did.
like a professional.
I think so, and he had his work cut out too. Like he was super tired. We both slept good that night.
Was
that's
it
for
one of
sure.
those where you were like tied up?
No, I wasn't tied up. There were 3 different sessions with 3 different like kind of feels to it.
Oh, okay, but you weren't tied up or blindfolded or anything like that.
No, I wasn't tied up or blindfolded.
Gagged.
No gag.
Butt
nothing.
plugs.
No butt plugs. No. But it was fun. Yeah, right. It was funny because like you know, the whole thing is like, okay, you're getting jerked off, and then like you know, you stop, and then, you know, you're going for a certain amount of time, you know, and then it's just like the time for like how long you can get jerked off before you're saying, you know, stop, just gets shorter and shorter and shorter.
Right.
And like by the time like we were getting to the end, you know, I tell him to stop, and then, you know, we rest, and then all he does is just put his hand back on my cock, and I just come. Like I didn't even, there wasn't even enough
because
time
you were
for me.
already, you're already like, dude, I need to let it out. I need to, it's done.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah.
So funny. All right. So, have you had, so you said you did roofing. Have you worked in any other, like, have you ever done like stripping or anything like that before?
So I had one stripping experience that was not too long ago. I was up in Fort Lauderdale. And my thing was just like, I don't want to strip anywhere. Like, I don't want to shit where I eat, you know? Like,
Right.
I mean, I know,
well, because you're close to where you live, right?
yeah.
And so you don't want to be there, and then your freaking checkout guy walks in and is like,
it could be anybody, you know? It could be
your mom walks in to watch you.
right. Anybody. And, you know, so yeah, that would be a tough thing. I was out in Fort Lauderdale, so like, you know, I don't live in Fort Lauderdale, and the owner was like, you know, please, you know, he wanted me to come there, and I was just like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
Right.
He's still having, you know, wanting me to go to the one where I live, you know, but I'm just like, nah. I mean, if everybody in the fucking world just found out that I had an OF, you know, then like maybe, you know, I'd just say fuck it, because it's just like a little extra money, you know.
Right.
But right now it's still somewhat low key, and like, you know, that's fine, you know.
Just your little toe in the water, just a little to feel it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit more. So I know it takes a certain kind of person to be a model and an OnlyFans creator. Growing up, and we just kind of talked a little bit about how you didn't like pictures, but you know, but growing up, like, were you like sexually liberate? You know, like, were you not afraid to talk about sex, not afraid to look at sex, or were you kind of like Catholic boy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, because I feel like a lot of people that start doing OnlyFans, like, they're comfortable with it, and they grew up in that, like, with like okay, so for me, I started watching porn probably when I was like 11, 12 maybe.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and so I've had it.
That's young for your generation.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. I was very resourceful.
Yeah.
So like, but you know, so I'm very liberated with sex because I've seen it a lot, you know, and then there's other people that have never seen anything until they get out of, you know, their hometown, and they're 25 years old, and they, you know, they don't know. So what was that like for you growing up?
So, you know, typical, I think it started off like a typical, you know, story for anybody else, you know. It's just like, you know, I'm young, you know, I brought up your generation. Well, you know, my generation fueled by technology. So obviously, like,
it's easier.
It was super easy, you know, looking up, you know, porn on your phone. You know, I had an iPhone, I think, by the time I got to middle school. So there was that aspect, and then there's like the, you know, the experimenting, you know, with your bros and stuff like that, which isn't anything crazy. I mean, I've always been like super horny since I was like a young kid, and I always like, I think, you know, growing up, you know, when I was in elementary school, okay, so like, I hated playing sports, but I did play sports, you know? So like, you know, I was friends with one kid, and, you know, we were in the 5th grade, and these two girls, you know, they moved to our elementary school, you know, in the 5th grade. And like, you know, me and this kid become really good friends with them. And then by the time we get to middle school, these two girls are like super fucking hot, you know? They're cheerleaders, you know, I'm playing football. So like, I became really good friends with those two sisters, and even now, like, I'm still really good friends with them. Like, they would consider me like their brother. And so like, I was friends. I became friends with all their friends, you know. I was also in band, you know. I was friends with the jocks. I was pretty smart in middle school because, you know, my drinking and drugging didn't get like super bad. but at that point, like I was still like pretty functional. I was taking a bunch of Adderall too.
Right.
So like I was kind of admired by like a lot of
People.
different kinds of people. Yeah, and especially the girls. Like there were a lot. I could pretty much kind of like date whoever I wanted, and I wasn't like super tall or anything. I wasn't like the best football player, but I was still like a decent guy, and
Right.
like I ended up being with this one girl, and I stayed with her for like close to 5 years, and I would say like looking back on it now, she was probably the hottest girl in the school. Like
Nice.
she could have been modeling, like, um, and like I had like a mini hoe phase like when I was with her, but there was always like that beast inside of me,
Right.
Like I tried the monogamy thing, and like we kind of had a break, but like I would still consider it cheating, but I went on a fucking rampage. Like I
Right.
slept with like 10 girls like in just like maybe a couple days,
Right.
know.
Like a gay guy would do in a night.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So there was always like there was that something in me, and as I got older, I kind of like start to explore that more, and then honestly, it wasn't even until recently, because like, it wasn't until I really like got sober and started to like focus on me, and like started to understand like who am I like as a person, that like I started to see like, oh, okay, like, there's certain things that, I'm definitely more inclined to do. And like, I wouldn't say like the whole sex thing is a problem for me, like, because, I've worked the steps, and the first step, with alcohol or drugs is like, if your life is unmanageable and you're powerless, and you can use that same thing for like sex, or if
Yeah, you
anything,
can use it for everything.
yeah, so like if my life is unmanageable because of sex, or I'm powerless over it, and I'm missing certain things and responsibilities because of it, it's a problem. But like, when I got sober, like I was like, damn, like this is kind of all I got left,
Yeah.
like, I got coffee, I got nicotine, and then there's like just like this
Sexual energy that you
sexual
ever. Yeah.
energy, yeah. So, yeah.
Do you ever think you'll meet somebody that matches that energy?
I think so. I mean, I still got a long life to live, and like, I think there's plenty of people out there, and yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Good for you.
Mhm.
So let's talk a little bit about a future now, just to
Mhm.
we'll touch on
Yeah.
it.
Let's do it.
All right. So right now, so right now you're working with AAG. You're helping with photography and
Mhm.
and editing and all that stuff. What do you want to do? Like, what's your goal? Like, let's say 10 years from now.
Yeah.
What kind of job? What kind of thing do you want to be doing?
Yeah. So, I don't have anything particularly picked out. You know, I know that there's certain things that I'm looking for. I
Do
want
you
to.
see yourself with somebody in 10 years?
Oh, yeah. Like I definitely, and
And I'm talking about job too, but I'm just
yeah.
saying like that could be part of it also.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I definitely, I want to be with somebody. I want to, I want, a family. I want kids. I want all that. I'm smart enough to know that the OF thing doesn't last forever. And
Right.
even if it did, like I wouldn't want to. When I eventually have kids, like that, that will end up stopping. But I'll also get old and ugly and probably fat. So like, there has to be other means of,
Money.
yeah.
And what would you want to do? What's your dream job?
So I don't think I really have a dream job. I know the biggest thing for me is that, I'd like to work for myself. I'd want some sort of business that I can operate, maybe from wherever. I don't necessarily have to be in a house, but I could be in a different country. And
Right.
I mean, right now, pretty recently, I kind of have been thinking about, doing this certification for like cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin, he's been working on it. He's almost done with it. And I think, that might be pretty cool because, I can have that, I can work for Google for a little bit, and then eventually like I can open up my own thing. Cause I still have, you know, I know that like when I put my mind to something, like I just get super nerdy about it. Like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, when the whole crypto thing was going on, like I was balls deep into that. Like, and I don't mean just like buying Bitcoin and, you know,
You had
holding.
like 40 supercomputers in your room and you're
Yeah.
like mining.
Yeah. So I started off with the crypto mining. That's how I first started like kind of learning about what crypto was. And then I started learning about decentralized financing. So, I mean, like crypto itself, like there's fucking levels to it. You know,
I know.
I mean,
Ben tried to explain it to me and I was just like,
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
where's it at? I think
Oh, I know which one. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I would talk to my parents about it. They would, I mean, I sounded like I was speaking a different language.
Yeah.
Especially with the financing aspect of it, because I mean, you're incorporating finance, but you're also incorporating like technology, you know,
And that's what I think you like about it, right? Is the technology
I
aspect.
love the technology, you know, just like what you're able to do with it. And like, you know, that was really fun for me. Like I had a really good time, although like I probably would have made off a little bit better if I was like sober the whole time.
Right. But hey, lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
And now if you get back into it,
yeah,
you could be the next crypto bro.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Making your own type of electric cars.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, I always keep my eye on it, but the unfortunate thing about it is just like a lot of people lost trust in it. Like there were a couple of different scams that happened and different like protocols and exchanges that, you know, people had fucking millions to billions of dollars in it. And I mean, they fucking lost everything, you know. And the biggest thing with crypto is liquidity, just like with anything, you know. So you lose liquidity. Like I can't go on there with money that I have right now and do the same things I did before.
Oh, yeah, there's no way.
It's not going to happen. And I still have the knowledge. So, I mean, my thing is just like, okay, like I found something that a lot of people really didn't know about. And I learned about it, you know, I taught myself what it was, and then I eventually like found the means of like making money from it. And I think just like taking that and then applying that to something else, I mean, I think that's where the whole like, okay, figuring out what I want to do, you know, maybe like AI, I don't know, like
AI scares me. We're gonna watch that movie tonight. Afraid. Okay. I know you have to leave at 4 a.m, but
that's okay. I can sleep on the plane.
I'm gonna make you stay up.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's start talking. So I like to do this thing where like I ask you words.
Okay.
And you have to tell me if you know what they mean.
Okay. Cool.
Some of them are like Urban Dictionary words. Some of them are gay words. Some of them are, you know. But before I ask you that, what's your thoughts on Gaza? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, no, I was about to say, as a joke, I was about to say, what's Gaza? But I think that's worse.
That's worse.
That's worse. Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I had. I need to get a laugh track on here. Okay. Yeah. So, do you know what bussy is?
Bussy. Yeah, that's like. Okay, I'm gonna say I do know what that is, but I probably it's probably not right. That's like a boy pussy. But if you would ask me like where exactly that is, that's where I feel like I'm gonna get this answer wrong.
Okay, so it's just a boy's butthole.
Oh, butthole.
Yeah, it's his ass.
Okay.
Okay. So do you know what smurfing is?
You know, I heard this brought up somewhere. I don't know if it was a show, if it was on like X or something like. No, I don't.
Smurfing is when you give somebody blue balls.
Okay. That's, yeah. I feel like I could have guessed that, but yeah.
Smurfing. Okay. Yeah. Do you know what this one's easy. You know what a twink is?
Yeah.
What's a twink?
A twink is, it'd be easier if I could just like show you a picture.
Yeah.
You know, I'd say like skinny, you know, kind of like not super masculine. Young little boy, yes, kind of
like 18, usually 18 to 28 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a funny one. Do you know what a twancient is?
No, but if it's playing off of twink, nah.
A twancient is someone that's 30 plus years old.
Okay.
Ancient.
Oh, I see.
Twancient.
Okay. Yeah.
That's me.
Twancient.
I'm twancient. All right. So, do you know what kermiting is?
Kermiting. Okay, well, like something with being inside, but I don't know.
It's when you fist somebody.
Okay, okay, yeah. It's when you fist,
Kermit,
Kermit, yeah. Damn,
that's so
I was
awful.
close.
You were so
Yeah.
yeah. He was close, guys. He was close. All right. Let me see if I can find one more. All right. The Blob. Do you know what the Blob is?
It's gotta do with
So the Blob is when you pull your scrotum skin over your penis,
Ooh.
forming something that looks like a large blob.
Oh shit. Okay, I can picture that. Yeah.
It's so gross.
Yeah. Well, you didn't want to shoot that today?
No. I'm very like looking down there. All right. So I want to thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And hopefully you'll come back again.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Awesome. And I want to thank you guys for listening. I'm going to put all his links up here. They're also going to be in the information panel down there. So that way you can look him up. And yeah, we'll do it again sometime. And follow either one of us to see his pictures. Follow him for sure. Follow me, please. Mm-hmm. I'll put my addresses on here also. But yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Boom, boom, boom.